Yeah. Hello, everyone. Who have we got in? No, nobody's talking yet. I don't know where Neil is at the moment. So I'm just going to plow on. So we weren't on last week, and the reasons for that, I would have thought were quite obvious. We had a rough week the week before, and we wanted to let things settle. So we decided to take the time out, make some adjustments to the way the chat is moderated. People who moderate the chat, we made some people moderators, which is not something we wanted to do with the channel. We really didn't want to go down that route. But it seems that in some certain cases you've got no choice. So we've got a couple of moderators in now. We've got a secret stealth weapon. That's all I can say on that. And Angela's agreed to come back, which is great, and continue her role. And she has got some assistance in the background, so hopefully it won't be required, and hopefully we can just get along and have some fun, which is what it's all about. So there's a few things that I wanted to talk about this week, and so let's start with, while we're on the theme of harmony, we'll continue with that. So we got a shout out from Colin on Sprue's workshop last week. He said, I quote, to prove there was harmony, he gave us a brilliant shout out, and it was much appreciated. Colin, thank you very much. And to reciprocate, their channel their show is on Saturday night, and Colin's there with some friends of his, and they all have a good laugh, and so there we go. So if you want to see more of Colin, he's on Saturday nights. So with that, I've been looking around, and yes, there's a lot of venomous. There appears to be a lot of backstabbing, backbiting, whatever you want to call it. Bullying, yeah, cyberbullying. There's loads of different terms, but there appears to be quite a lot of it. And I've got to say, out of many of the hobbies, modeling to me appears to have the worst of it. I've been in gaming communities, and it goes on in there, but it's kind of different. It's more banter than this. Is quite vicious. Some of the stuff that goes on, and I was thinking that, and then I started. There's a few people I follow, and one of these people I follow is Mr. Mini Dreams, David Sean, over at scaleworld.net, I think is the address. And if there was an award for commitment to a hobby, then Mr. Mini Dreams would get this. He's got raffles going on. He's got games like game show type games he's trying to get going, prizes. You know, you've got to pay to be in some of these raffles, because you can't just give the stuff away. But the thing is, the point is, he's doing all this stuff. It must take a phenomenal amount of time, and I really want to give a shout out to Mr. Mini Dreams and the fact that he is doing something really positive in a hobby that at times seems over. You know, that it's not very, that at times seems very unfriendly, if you like. So all is not lost. There's people out there that are willing to carry the torch. Gil Mondragon, another great guy that always helping, willing to, you know, you can go and join his hangouts and he'll help you in any way he can. Another great guy. You've got Will Patterson, always putting videos out on how to do things, and you know, they're very informative and very there's a lot of information in them. So I guess what I want to say is that when you feel that things are getting really sort of bad, and that you know, you just can't figure out why is it the way it is, just look a bit harder, and there is a thriving community of people that are building, that are enjoying it, that are getting on, and we've just got to, you know, persevere, be resilient. It's a very small minority of people that are genuinely ruining it for everyone else at times. I've just found out tonight that my YouTube account had been hacked, and there's a list of approved users in my YouTube account that are most definitely not approved. So I've got to look into why they're even there. So they've been taken off now, but this is the sort of level that we're dealing with. And we've only got 27 people. We've got 27 people, and all we want to do is build models and have a bit of fun. And that's the sort of mentality we're working with. But yes, there's loads and loads. You've just got to look, and once you start looking, you'll keep finding all these people that really are great people. But Mr. Mini Dreams stands head and shoulders above everyone when it comes to commitment to the hobby. So David, I doff my hat to you. You, sir, are a true gent, and I wish you every success. And maybe one time we'll get you on here, and you know, we can do, oh no, not an interview. We don't really do the interviews, but you know, just on one night for a bit of fun and chat, whatever, and that would be great. So with that said, that's that portion out of the way. Now, with regards to our channel, unfortunately, because of the way things have gone, we've had to make a couple of tiny changes, and we have, I hate to use the word rule, we've had to make a new rule, but I can't think of any other way of putting this. So basically, anyone coming into the chat that appears to be have a negative opinion, in that they're coming in to cause trouble, will be given a warning first. You know, it'll be a quiet word, you know, and then if it persists, they will be, you know, we will have to throw them out because I'm sorry, but I'm not having what happened 2 weeks ago. I'm not having that happen again. It's absolutely unacceptable behavior, and I just will not, I'm not going to tolerate it. And this is not from I'm going to be a ruler of the group or anything like that. This is just courtesy. I don't, you know, Angela was very upset, and I don't think that's right. It's bullying on a public level, and no, we're not having that anymore. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, so from this moment forth, that is all in the past now. We're going to move on. We're going to forget all that. We're going to try to forget all that. We're going to hope that people are going to let us forget all that, and we'll move on with what we normally do. So, did I buy anything this week?
No.
No, I don't think I did I?
You got some sticks in the post.
Oh, yes. David Price, he sent me... I've got a webcam I sent David because he was... he didn't have a webcam and he wanted to join the Hangouts. And anyway, it didn't work for whatever reason. But while I remember, I do have one webcam. It's only a cheap webcam, but I'm willing to lend that out to somebody if they want to join the Hangouts and they haven't got a webcam. If you just get in touch with me, and I will get that sent out to you, and you can use that until you get a new one or you stop using it or whatever, you know, no charge. And you know, just to get the interest up and get people in. So I've got one spare webcam that can be sent out to somebody if they, you know, if they wish. So I've done this with David. I sent this with David. Unfortunately, it didn't work, but he sent it back. And he sent it back with these, what Angela calls, there's some sticks. She said, ask what the sticks were on the table. Well, you know, she's half right. They're sanding sticks. Let me just bring the camera down.
They're sticks.
Because I normally forget this bit. I normally forget to move the camera. I remembered tonight. And these are brilliant. I love these because I'm using my thinnest stick that I use up until this point was, oh, let me just move that, was the UMP one that I use their thinnest sticks. So, oh, they're not much thinner, but they're about, I don't know, a little bit thinner. So these are great. I didn't ask him where he got them from, but and he's given me several different grits, and that one's a fine one there. That's got a bit of a grit there, and this is like a very fine one, like almost like it's more coarse. Yeah, and these are great. I've already used them, as you can tell. Some of them are a bit dirty, but yeah, I love these, and they're handy for getting into small areas that you like, bikes, cars, stuff like that. You can just jump in there with them. And yeah, so thanks a lot for them, Dave. They're really proving useful.
Mark Scale Models said he's just got a webcam, got to work out how to use it now. That would be fun.
Oh, they're really easy. Generally, you just plug them in, and they'll, you know, if you're on Windows 10, you just plug it in. It should say that it's installing, and then if you go into your like your Windows section, just go down to see camera, and you can set it up in there. It's very easy, or it was for me. Please don't take that the wrong way if you struggle with it, because I know not everybody's got, you know, everybody's got different computers, and
hence when I was trying to put the webcam on, I couldn't get it to work. And it wasn't until you told me I'd got it upside down.
Yeah, Andrew had got it all in wrong, which is not surprising given that she's done some gardening this week.
Be quiet. Nobody needs to know about that.
Yes, they do. They need to know about the gardening. So we done some gardening this week, and I don't know whether there's a medical term for this, but Angela's got this thing where absolutely anything electrical she touches just buggers up. It's quite uncanny to watch, and it's unbelievable at times. And I really can't get my head around it. And I'm sure there's got to be some reason behind this. So she takes the lawnmower out to mow the front lawn. And she mows the front lawn. And then all of a sudden I hear, oh, bugger, it stopped working. So that's the lawnmower gone. I went out, had a look. Yeah, it's dead as a door now. It's not going anywhere. Lawnmower stopped working. It's broke. So she goes out, then decides to cut the hedge with a hedge trimmer. Plugs the hedge trimmer in. Anyway, and then I hear, oh, so something wrong with this. And I go out. She says, I said, what's wrong? She said, it's not working.
This was before I electrocuted myself.
Yeah, this was before she electrocuted. No, after. After you electrocuted yourself. Well, I had a look at it, and I don't know how, but I had to take it apart, and all the metalwork inside was shattered. I did hear, I was told by a little voice told me that you actually hedge trimmed into a metal bin.
The bin was in the way.
So you didn't tell me that bit. You just told me it had packed up. Didn't tell me that you'd actually apparently there's a hole in an incinerator bin. I don't know how you do that. It's mind-boggling. So anyway, yeah, we'll get back to. So she's not allowed to touch my computers, or I get a bit nervous when she puts her hand on my arm.
Thanks.
Well, I keep thinking the fucking thing's going to stop working, or.
Well, I do electrocute the dogs now. So it's all for me, yeah.
So yeah, we got them from Dave, so my second thing I wanted to talk about was naff kits. Let's bring this back up. So we all know that everyone's got an opinion on what bad kit is, and everybody's always saying you don't want to touch that kit. Don't touch that kit. It's rubbish. It's very poor. You know, and some of the worst kits that have got the worst reputations belong to Revell and Airfix. Now, I've built a lot of Revell kits, not a massive amount. When I say a lot, you know, most of the kits I've built have been Revell, and I think they're being given a bad press, really. For I'm just trying to think in my head how to put this across. So. If you let's take a Revell kit. You take a Revell kit, and somebody said that kit's bad. It's got a lot of flash or whatever. The pieces don't line up very well. You've got to do a lot of sanding. There's a bit of warpage, and you're going to struggle to build it. Those are the general terms that people put out about some Revell kits and some Airfix kits, and we'll go a bit more into that in a minute. But on the other side, on the other hand, you get another kit, and I special hobby say, I don't know. There's one brand that does. So we're looking at the companies that do the short run kits, and people say similar things. They say, "Oh, you know, you've got to put a lot of effort into it, but it's worth it." They'll say, "It's, you know, there's a bit of warpage or whatever, but they're short run kits. You've got to do a bit of sanding, but you know, you've got to expect that with a short run kit." That's another phrase. So, and the difference is the Revel kit's about, I don't know, 30 quid, and this kit over here is about let's say 100, right? But you're saying, you're making similar excuses for the same thing. That's what I can't get my head around. Why is the Revel kit? Why is it with the Revel kit when you've got to do a lot of sanding, it's a poor kit? But when you've got to do a lot of sanding on the £100 kit, it's because it's a short run kit and it'll be worth it in the end. Why don't they say that about the Revel kit? And it, you know, it in my mind, there's lots of other parallels there. So I don't think, if I want, if I buy a Bandai kit, I don't consider that modeling. I consider that just assembling a well-crafted piece of art, if you like. It's they manufacture to such a high standard that it just clips together. You don't really have to paint it, and it really is just assembling. It's just cleaning up and assembling. So that I classify as assembling. You pay what, 40, 45 quid upwards for a Bandai kit. Now I'm going to bring in my current build, because this is one of, apparently this is one of the notorious ones that is very poor kit. Was told by numerous people not to bother with it. Even Neil himself will agree that he was one of the naysayers on this. And I'm putting my gloves on because it's been painted few days now, but I don't want to leave fingerprints on it. And you're going to know which kit it is, because I mention this every week. And this is the Phantom 2. It's Revel's 132nd Phantom, the 50th anniversary one. And as I say, it's been classed as a very poor kit. I've got to tell you that I think this kit is an absolute gem. No, it doesn't fall together. There are bits you've got to fill, and I can show you where they are, but they're not great big cavernous gaps. Every single piece has come together almost perfectly, with the exception of maybe the wings were probably, the wing roots were probably about the worst part. And I'm not saying that that's the worst part, just because they had the biggest gap. So I don't know if you can see on the spine there, I've still got a bit of, I've tried to rescribe as best I can. And you can see there's no gaping holes. I'm just going to flip it over. That's how far I've got. There's no clear coat on this at the moment. So today I've finished, I've had this masked off and here, and we've gone in and I've painted the white of the wheel bays and at the front. And then it's been quite a long day because I've had to wait for that to dry. Then I've come along and I've had to tidy up the very edges because I got a bit of bleed through on the masking tape. I'm going to change the masking tape that I've been using, and I've got some lined up that was kindly Rattle Can Rebel pointing me in the right direction. And I also went into the, if we can just get the front, so I don't know if this is going to show. Did try and get the camera, the lighting better. So I went in and sorted out the paint on the inner, the turbo intakes, is it? The jet intakes, and sorted out, cleaned the line up there, so made sure the line was nice and straight. And again there, I've cleaned up any blue overspray that went into the cockpit, and sorted out the cockpit instrument panels. The chairs have just left to go in, and I will put them chairs in probably live tonight. I will do them while we're on air and put them in, and then the seats are in. I've also been over the front radar and cleaned that up, so that's all done. So in effect, it's all ready for its clear coat. And I can tell you it's been really enjoyable to do. So what are we to believe? That this is the, maybe this is the odd one. This kit out of all of them is for some reason, this kit isn't a bad one. I've just been lucky. I bought it out of a charity shop. There was a little bit of warpage on the back, and you can still see it. But on this side, you can see that it's up slightly. It's not a problem. It's not going to affect it. You're not going to see it when it's finished.
David said he thinks, personally, I think overcoming kit faults is part of modelling. If every kit just fell together perfectly, requiring no real effort, which is boring to tears. Mark's scale model would totally agree.
Yeah, and this is it, isn't it?
Job, Mark.
This is it. It's if you just came along, if I just came along at this, and it just went together, you know, like a jigsaw, and there was nothing to do, no thought to go into it, no problem solving in this. And when I say problem solving, I'm talking about where would I have problem solving on this? Bear in mind, I'm still fairly new to modelling, so I'm still learning many different ways of filling and things like that. So, and I still haven't found my niche. I haven't found my best way of doing it. So I'm still sort of, when it comes to filling something, I'm still just picking at you know, the first idea that comes into my head and trying that. It might be the super glue, it might be a filler. Hopefully at some point I will fall into a routine where I've got my favorite go-tos. But this has been such a big mojo boost, which is incredible given it's such a big plane. And normally these mojo boosts, you won't get that from a big plane. It comes from small kits. But this has been a huge boost, and I've thoroughly, and I still am enjoying building it. I don't know whether it was the fact that I was expecting to fail because I'd been told it was so bad. And upstairs I've got another kit which I'm told is equally bad. It's the Airfix 124th Spitfire Mark 5B. Now everyone has told me that is a just bin it. Everyone has said, just bin it. Well, no, I'm not going to bin it. I'm going to build that kit. I don't know when. I don't know whether it'll be straight off the back of this, because we've got some group builds coming up, which I'll mention in a minute. But I am going to build that kit. Another kit I've got that I've been told, I was told I wouldn't be able to build, is the Zukimura 1/32 scale Sky Raider. I was personally told that I wouldn't be able to do that. I wouldn't be able to build it, and you know, it would just be a lot of hassle, and I should just sell it. That's what I was told. No, I'm not going to sell that either. I'm going to build that kit. I'm going to build it to the best of my ability, and then I'm going to proudly display it, and I'm going to put it all over Facebook or wherever and proudly show that I have built that kit. Because we need to reverse this, don't build that kit because it's rubbish. These are the best kits to learn modeling on. And I think that that's probably why I haven't had as much trouble with this particular kit, because I've always built Revel kits. There's nothing really new here that I haven't seen on other Revel kits that I've put together. And there have been those that I didn't feel were very good. But looking back now, I realized that they weren't not very good because they were rubbish. They were just not very good because I was not very good. My skills were just very, very poor. Having said that, and I'm going to put in a little clause here, I have come across one kit which I truly believe was awful, and I tried to build it, and I think even if you had the best skills in the world, this kit was, for want of a better word, shit. And it was, I've got it here actually. I kept it as a paint mule, and no, it's not that one. I don't think it's that one. Have I thrown it out? Did I not keep it? Anyway,
the Wanderer returns. He will be 5 minutes.
Anyway, it was a Lindbergh kit. It was a saber dog, and I'd done a review on it. It's in the channel somewhere, and the flash was you know, horrendous, but there's no problem with the flash. I don't even know why people get uptight about flash. It's, you know, you can just remove it. The big issue with the Lindbergh Saberdog kit I had was
it meant too much to you.
The pieces were all out of shape. You can see it clearly in the review. The pieces were absolutely horrendous, and it just I didn't feel it was a very good kit. And yes, it was something that was very close to my heart that I was building it for, and I think that might have played a part in it as well.
Rob said he's built some dogs. It's making them look good is what it's all about.
Yeah, yeah, and I really think, I mean, people take. I saw a YouTube video, and a guy in Italy built I think it's around about a 1/6 scale Ferrari, and he scratched. He was a telecoms engineer. He spent 4 years doing the drawings, and he put this car together in his spare time. It's got a working clutch, engine, gearbox, all in miniature scale, and you know, you can even put your finger on the clutch and you can move the miniature gearbox, and you can start the engine. There's a little key. It's just scratch built everything. It's on YouTube. If I can find it, I'll put it in the links. And so he's scratching that out of, I don't know, bits of plastic, bits of metal. He's made them himself. We're being given the pieces already shaped, pressed. They've got all their details on. We've literally just got to glue them together. And sometimes it's such that you've got to fettle about with them. And yeah, I just think that's it's all part of modeling. If you get rid of that, you're no longer modeling, are you? You're no longer model building or whatever. You know, you've got to be careful on the terminology, because some people get offended that you say you're a model builder. Are you an assembler? Are you a modeler? There's a huge debate on that. I've seen it before. I don't know. I just enjoy building models, and I've thoroughly enjoyed this one. So if anyone came to me and said, "What do you think about the Revell 132nd kit? Would you buy it?" I would say almost definitely I would get it. If you're very new at modeling, get it, put it away, build it in a year or so, maybe 2 years. Learn some basics first, and then go ahead. If I'd have built this a year ago, a year and a half ago, maybe I would be sitting here telling a different story. Maybe I'd be sitting here telling you to avoid Revell at all costs. But no. So I think it's time we started giving Revell a bit of credit. And remember, some of these kits were made decades ago. They were made when there was no technology or scanning and stuff like that. So, you know, when you're looking at a kit and you're going to go on, you're going to slate it, you're going to hammer it, you're going to tell everyone how bad it is. First of all, think, when was it made? You know, if it was made in the last 10 years or something and it's very poor, and, you know, nothing's fitting together or anything, and you've paid 20, 30 quid for it, maybe you've got a right to have a little bit of a moan, because quite honestly, there's not really much excuse for knocking out a really poor kit. But you know, if it's just little bits that need sanding and sticking together and things like that, let's just give some of the companies a break, and try some of the older kits. You'll learn if you're new to modeling and you've built like Meng and you know, some of these really great kits that come out. Meng do some smashing kits. Let's say you've just built them, then go back and build some of the older Revell kits, because you'll learn a lot from them.
Rob said he's building the 132 Tamiya Mozzie.
Yeah.
However, he's just got the 132 Revell Spitfire. Some of the reviews suck. However, it doesn't look that bad.
Yeah, and I'll be interested to follow and hear his opinion on it. Yeah, so
evening.
Oh, look at that. Timed just perfectly.
No time. I've just got it. Don't worry about it. I do apologise for being late. I've been up the hospital.
That's okay.
Hey?
Everything okay?
Well, they
Idy's gone in because I'm starting giving us 2 heavy doses of chemo, and the way it's knocked her about, they want to keep her in for a few days. And we went to the clinic this afternoon, and I told my missus off the top of, like, never expected it. Oh, by the way, I'm staying in tonight till Friday because we want to do dialysis on you tomorrow and see how the stents work. So it's lovely. I've got rid of the pair of them. I'm surrounded by my dogs and I'm peace and quiet and I'm happy. Yeah, everything will be fine. Everything will be fine.
Excellent.
So I was a bit late coming home. I do apologise.
No, that's all right. I knew there'd be something important that was holding you up. So basically, just to let you know, Neil, we've had I've done a little bit of a discussion on what happened, why we've made a few little changes behind the scenes.
Yeah.
The fact that we've put all that behind us now, and we're just moving forward. So that was that, and then.
You've been rambling.
Yeah, I've been rambling because you know that I'm so.
You ramble anyway, you do.
Yeah,
you're a rambler.
It's this kit, and again, because so many people have said it's rubbish. It really has.
Oh, that Revell kit's only good for the bin. Do you know that?
Yeah.
You watch anything, anybody will tell you that kit's awful. You've got to throw that in the bin. The only one that's worth having to tell you.
I know.
Yeah,
but
I've told you that.
There you go. This is how far I've got today. I've tidied up all.
Oh, right, you've repainted them today, have you? Okay.
I've
nice.
Tidied them all up.
Yeah, that's nice. Let's have a look at the cockpit, you know. That's coming out brilliant, that is, mate. With that sitting in there, that's come out really nice. Really nice.
And I repaired that.
Yeah.
I found out where that came from.
You got something on the glove?
No, it wasn't my glove. It was the fact that I was painting it yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was trying to be careful, but I'd put it on this.
Oh, right, yeah. And
it was one of these had scratched up against the top of the spine. And yeah, so that's what happened there. At least I think it is. I've had no further problems since I sorted.
You know what you could do for holding stuff like that upside down, don't you?
No.
You know them big rubber, them big car sponges you get for what you get for 50p.
Oh yes, yeah.
Get one of them.
Yeah.
Cut a V in the middle of it with a knife, not all the way through, just V out the top, and it apparently the spine sits on and bang on, and it just supports them nicely.
Oh yeah, you can get.
I've seen one or two people do it that way. It looks a good idea. That does.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll get some from B&Q. They're only £1.
I think what I would do though to do that, because they're a sponge, I would get a piece of very, very soft, lint-free, cotton-free cloth, proper pure cloth, just to go over it so that you're not going to get any scratching. Because I'm still cautious, because sponges, even before they're wet and they're used, they can be a little bit on the edges. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, newly painted surfaces, it might be best just doing that, getting something to cover the sponge. But yeah, it does work well. I've seen it. Indeed, I've seen it being used, and it does work well. That does.
Have you got? That's coming out
quite nice.
Has your dog got a toy there?
Yeah, squeaking red off. Pack it in, you. Shut up.
No, it's all right. I just can't figure out whether it was the dog. You'd got a very large mouse, or it was your chair squeaking. I
tell you what, she's just looked at me enough to say, "What are you, sod off?"
Yeah, we get that a lot with our dogs.
Yeah.
So so I've been showing off my plane again, my jet, and I got to thank Neil, because his dad. I don't know if any of you know, but his dad flew these in the was it Navy or RAF?
Fleet Aero, Navy.
So
he didn't fly that, because that's an F4F. He flew the FGR-1.
Yeah. But anyway, I've had a lot of points from Neil.
Yeah,
and some help. So there's still a way to go.
Loads of knowledge of them,
which is really good. So I've pretty much exhausted what I was going to say. While I remember, I'll just bring this back onto me. So those of you that have smartwatches, I have designed. Now, how am I going to put this? The logo was designed for us by Joanna.
Yeah.
And she gets full credit for anything that I do with this logo. I've had permission from her, and we've got certain things in the pipeline. I can't say too much about them, but one of the things that I have done is I've designed a Misfits watch face, and any of you that have got a smartwatch can get this for free. I'm not charging anything for it. I believe you have to download the app called Facer, and then you find me through there. And basically, it's let me just see if I can bring it up. So you've got the Misfits logo there. It's got a pedometer on it, and obviously the time. You've got the weather icon where you are, and the date, and your battery status, and also a little message indicator. When it goes dark, so at night time, it's just the Misfits logo on its own, and it's very much not as bright. So that is free. You just go along, you download the Facer app, then you go into your settings, you find the watch. It'll be under, I think it's under photo. It might be under photo morph or Misfits+1. I'll have to find out. And then you go and you select your type of watch, and you can download that for free. So that's just a little thing, a little gimmicky thing, but I thought it'd be nice for anyone that's got a smartwatch. So there you go. Over to you, Neil.
Well, I'm just sitting there sort of. I just noticed on your watch it says 395 steps. What is that? The last 6 months?
Yeah, probably. Microphone's working tonight, then.
Oh yeah, it's all right. He got Angela to go to the kitchen 3 times for him last night, one after another. You know, because he can't be bothered to walk that far. Oh, he's terrible, he is.
You know, last night when you logged on and you were having all that microphone trouble.
Yeah. Go on.
They were being wicked to you, Neil.
There was no trouble.
Well, don't surprise me.
No.
It don't surprise me.
The best of it was, Neil, you were saying, "Can you hear me?" And I was going, "No." And then
yeah, no.
said, "Are you sure you can't hear me?" And I said, "I'm positive, Neil. I can't hear you." And
yeah.
And
I don't know who was behind it. It's all right. I'll have a word with him after. Don't worry about it. That was too clever for you to come up with. I'll just say that. Well, it was too clever for you to come up with it. Let's just say that.
It wasn't him. It was me.
Oh, good God. Did somebody give you a sense of humour?
Yeah, they did. We had,
how much did that cost you off eBay?
Too much.
Hello, Rob. As for your 132nd Revell Spitfire, it's not a bad kit at all. If you look on YouTube, Genesis Models, Bobby Waldron, he actually built that. Yeah, if I remember rightly, it was about 18 months ago. And he said it was a worthy, for the price point it is, for how much it cost, it's a very worthy contender against how much the Tamiya one is if you can't afford it. And he built both as well, because later in the year he built the Tamiya 132nd Mark 9. But he still says that 132nd Revell one is a good kit. And I believe that is believe that's a new tool. It's not that old.
I don't know. It'd be on Scale Mates, wouldn't it? If it's, I'll have a look while you.
There's something at the back of my mind that I'm thinking that's not been out that long. That tool or that one. The 132nd Mozzie, yes, absolutely wonderful kit. We are having a sort of a buddy build, group build going from the 1st of June. 100 years of the RAF from 1918 to present day, being run by our Christoph.
Yeah.
I have actually been looking at. I've actually been looking at a Mozzie because I do love Mozzies. They're gorgeous aircraft, but I don't know. I think I'm going to go for the Spitfire Mark 9. To be truthful, the problem is with the 132nd Tamiya one, the Mozzie. It's a fantastic kit, but there's that much aftermarket for it. I'd be tempted to throw everything at it, and then all of a sudden you've got a £350 kit before you know what you've done. But having said that, Phil Flory did a build on it. He put all the resin engines in it and everything. It was the super build last year to go to Telford, which he does one a year. And he honestly said he built the kit engine that was in the box and put it next to the resin engine, the Edward Brazin resin engine. And to be truthful with you, it's like he says, a little bit of detailing with super detailing wire printing yourself on the factory on the kit engine, and you wouldn't tell a lot of difference. It's that close. It is a good kit.
Was that a 132nd Spitfire Tamiya? Was that the one that?
132nd Spitfire. Go on, which one?
Was it Tamiya, the one I was looking at?
No, Revell. Revell.
Revell, sorry. I had Tamiya in my head.
Mark 2.
Yeah, there we are. So let me just, I've got it here. 132nd. So let me just scroll down and we'll see what the history is on it.
The Tamiya one was new tool in 2009.
No, it's an old. I said
the Tamiya one.
Sorry, it was a new tool, an old kit. It was first went in production 1967, but it had a new tool in 2014.
Told you, I said it was a new tool.
Yeah.
See, when they new tool them, what they do is they remake the molds from scratch. They'll use the original molds as a start point, and then on a computer they'll redesign them up to the way they do it, in modern ways. Because injection molding is light years ahead now compared to what it was in those days. And then, like, the new mold will come out to enhance what they used to have, but what it mainly does is it enhances the production process to bring it up to date. But of course, the production process, the way it works these days, automatically updates what you get as detail and everything in a modern kit.
Yeah.
That's the way it works. It's a pity some other companies don't do it. I would like to see Tamiya, especially on their 112th cars and their 120th cars. I wish they would retool those, because we could do with some of the older cars back out, but we could do with them without all the seam lines that don't match. Some of them are absolutely awful because they were 70s molds and they've been used over the years as re-releases, and just repaired. And unfortunately, some of Tamiya's re-releases, especially cars-wise, they are awful. You do have to work at the seams. You can get them there and be a nice car at the end of it, but I'll guarantee you there's not one seam where you've not got to file it flat and get it right and muck about with it. They're a long-term project if you want to do them properly. That's me being like cars and bikes all my life. It's the same with some of the bikes. Some of the older bikes are bad as well. You know, if you want to bring them up to what modern day specification is. But it's worthwhile doing. It's how far do you want to go with them?
Yeah.
You know, some people want to put them together, paint them, and they're not bothered if there's a seam line there. Even if I can't see it, I've got to know it's been done. But I think that's my OCD. Other than that, I haven't done a lot the past fortnight because of
you've had
I've had ups and downs. I've had some health problems myself because I've got problems with my back and they've been playing up. And there's been some days where I've just been flaked out with pain meds and put out of it. And
well, Christoph like that last night.
Right, yeah.
That's why he couldn't make the hangout last night, because he was just in so much pain that it's amazing the amount of people that are in our hobby that are in a lot of pain. Having said that, I did notice the other day on the I get a sort of daily releases come through from Mike Jolly of new kits coming out, and one of my favourite jets is the Harrier Jump Jet, as I used to know it. And I noticed there's a 1/18th scale one coming out.
Yeah.
Oh man, I would love that kit.
I would say if you give that 6 months, you will have that much resin and aftermarket for that kit. It will be untrue.
I remember watching Tomorrow's World when the Harrier Jump Jet first appeared. Now, I didn't know, but the VTOL, or vertical takeoff and landing as it's known, had been out a long time before that. But it was the first time I'd witnessed it on TV. They'd got this jet on, and they said that it was going to take off like a helicopter. And I was a bit skeptical. I didn't think that's a bit fanciful, that. And it did. And I've been in love with the Harrier Jump Jet ever since. But I've never had the opportunity to build a big scale one. I've got a couple of small scales, 1/72nd. In fact, I'm building one for the RAF, the 100 years of RAF that Christoph is running on our channel. And if you want to take part in that, all you need to do is join our channel. It's running from June the 1st until June. When is it, Neil?
6 months, isn't it?
No, that's hours. I don't know. You'd have to. I think it's at least 8 weeks, maybe more.
8 weeks? I thought it was longer than that.
Yeah, it probably is. I can't remember. Christoph would have to have to let us know. I can't remember. But we've got our first group build, and that's the Ford Escort, and that starts on the 1st of June as well. And it will be any Escort, any time, any place. Cass? Apologies for that.
I'm finding it interesting. So I should come and give you support.
So
Chris says it runs till October.
The what?
Chris says it runs till October.
October.
So that's what, June, July, August, September. Yeah, you got 4. I thought it was around 4 months. Yeah, yeah. I reckon. I mean, it's our first group builds. I think we can push them and stretch them a couple of weeks if we need to. I mean, we're not going to be like other groups where it's all like, you know, it's got to be done now, and if you finish it a day later, I'm sorry, it's not going to be included. I mean, to us, this is just a group build to say we've done something together, and everybody's going to get the same attention. You know, with pictures, and we'll put a release pictures up and put a montage together. Yeah, I don't want to be like all the other people, and you've got to finish it by 11:59 p.m. on this particular date, or
no.
Yeah, no, that's, you know, because life gets in the way, and at the end of the day, 99.9% of people who's in Misfits, we are all have problems with some type of health or mental health or whatever. There's not many of us who have not got something wrong with us.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, life does get in the way.
And there may be a little something for the best one. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, there'll be. Yeah, but I think what we'll do is we'll also leave it open to the people who are members of the group. They can vote on the on the builds and the montages, and we'll work out some way of voting, and we'll do it fairly so that everybody has a choice in whose it is. Yeah.
It's not. We're not going to get into the realms of massive prizes or anything like that. But I'm just saying we're looking at something, and there may be a little tiny sort of something that we can. Not a prize so much as an appreciation for the work that you've done.
Yeah.
For the best, or what's perceived to be the best.
And I mean, I might not get anywhere near winning it anyway, but what I will say at the very beginning is, because I am a part of the team at Misfits, I will totally, as of now, disassociate myself with, you know, people can vote for mine or whatever and say what they're happy about, but I'm not. If I win the prize, I'll give it back. That's it.
No, there's that goes without saying.
Yeah, Michael did the same.
Yeah, I agree. If well, I won't. What we'll do is you can vote for us, but let's hypothetical situation that Neil comes first and say I came second, then the winner would be third.
Yeah. The winner will be the first non-member of the team.
Yeah. Yeah, because we don't want people thinking that there's shady goings on or anything like that. It's a very small prize. It's a very small prize. So
yeah, it's nothing to do with shady goings on. It's the fact that we are able to, if things go right for us, we are able to sit here and model for at least 8-10 hours a day if we need to. You know, and the other thing is as well, with the amount of stuff I've got around me, I've got more equipment around me than a lot of people would love to have, and that's just what I've built up over the years. So no, I'm not taking part in now. I'm not doing it for prizes. I'm not doing it for prizes at all.
No, I'm not. I want to give. I want to give the prizes out. I don't want to. I'm not interested in keeping them.
What I would like to see is a nice turnout of different kits for the 100th anniversary of the RAF.
Yeah, I would like to see that more than the turnout for the Escort, because the RAF build is being done by Christoph. He's a member. He's fairly new to modelling. He's only been modelling 6 months. So it would really be great if we could get behind him on his first sort of foray into sort of group builds or whatever, and just show him our support and show that the modelling community does rally around its members,
Yeah.
does help its members.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
and we are pushing the way forward in trying to just keep our heads down and let's have harmony in this community.
yeah, that's the thing. That's what we want more than anything now, is to bring. And
there are people out there who are feeling the same as us. Believe me.
Oh yeah, and I mentioned earlier on,
we
Colin.
talk to other people, and you know, everybody says the same. Let's show that we have harmony in this community, because at the end of the day, all we're doing is building models. We're doing this for enjoyment. Yeah. So yes, go on then, Mark. What was you saying?
I was just saying earlier that we got a very generous shout out from Colin on Smooth's workshop.
If anybody wants to see Colin's work, Festa 67 workshop on YouTube.
And he's also he's on a live show every Saturday. If you want to go and see Festa, you can go in there. He's got some friends with him.
Please sub to Festa. Go and have a look at his page. Sub to him if you like him. He thinks completely out of the box, and he's very quirky because he's not frightened of taking an hacksaw to any kit, and he comes up with some amazing things.
And I was watching him the other day. He's got a fantastic idea for a Titanic. Now, I said to Joe, who's currently building, I'll just move the camera back quickly. Joe's currently building a Titanic. Now, Joanna Hammond is going leaps and bounds ahead of everyone else. In the rate at which she learns modelling is phenomenal. And she's already doing commissions. She's 4 models in, and she's doing commissions.
She's absolutely astonishing, Joanna.
It is. And I said to her, I've got an idea for a Titanic build. I said, nobody else has thought of it to my knowledge. And, you know, I'll message you the details. Well, I never messaged her the details. But lo and behold, about 2 weeks later, Colin came on about a Titanic build, and his idea was so close to mine. And except the only difference was, Colin, I saw what you said about the wavy line and before and after. My idea was to have half of the Titanic at the top, and you know that scene where you've got the other half dangling down under the water. So you've got like a big tank, a tall tank of water. You've got it on the top, and then you've got it dangling down with the electric lights flickering in throughout the ship, and you've got bubbles coming out from the air, and that was my idea. And you know, I would love to see that done. I've not got the ability to do it. I don't have the materials, the equipment, or the knowledge and skill required. But I believe either you or Joe does. Take it away. I'd love to see that. I would love to see that, and I'm sure whatever you do, it's going to be great.
Was that out of the Leonardo DiCaprio film?
Yeah. There's a scene in it where it breaks in two, and so it wasn't really my idea. It's just I've copied it out of the film.
When that film came out, we were just starting to come to terms and get life back together of coping every day with our injuries and stuff. And my missus drags me to the 11 o'clock at night showing of that film. Bear in mind that, like, I've mangled my legs to pieces and my back, and sitting for 3.5 hours in a chair in a cinema is not exactly. I'm not looking forward to it. Oh, she's all right because she can be in the aisle in a wheelchair, and I'm sat in this cinema at Warsaw, and film's just starting. And I said, I don't even know why we mean. I've shouted it out to us. You do all realise he bleeding sinks in the end anyway.
Yeah.
The problem was I heard one bloke say, "Thanks for ruining the end of the film for me." And I thought,
Really?
Me to tell didn't realise it sunk.
Dear,
So
dear.
yeah, there was people out there who didn't realise that the Titanic was based on a real ship.
Wow.
That's scary.
That is.
It is.
And I can believe that because
And
I
you know what
know
the Irish always said about the ship, didn't you?
what.
It was all right when it left us.
Yeah, it was built in Ireland, weren't it? The Titanic.
Yeah, Ireland and Wolf. Funnily enough, I mean, Ireland and Wolf had some workers go down on that because they sent a crew of workers with the ship, as they always did on maiden voyages. I think there was about 20 of them, and they did not go to the lifeboats. They sank. They went down with the ship, as did the designer. Did you know the designer of the ship did as well?
No, I didn't.
The designer of the ship had no intention of getting off that ship. He went down with the ship. Yeah.
Well, his career would have been over anyway, wouldn't it? Let's face it.
It's one of them things. I mean, the more they're finding out now about, the more that they're finding out now about the Titanic, with the deep sea dives and looking at it and everything, there are questions of whether the icebergs were actually sunken. There is a serious feeling now that it had a coal dust fire in one of its coal. Oh God, I can't remember what they called them in the coal base.
Yeah.
But the coal dust fires. Yeah, well, my dad was telling me about. They used to get it sometimes on the big steam puffers. Because my dad didn't go in the Navy till he was 18. From 15, he worked at LMS, London Midland Scottish, and he was a fireman on steam puffers. And he says they used to get on the big tenders on the intercity ones, just like the London, London Scotland run. You could get it in them, but if you got a spark or something, it went down because the coal dust was entrapped in little pockets in the coal. And they were very difficult to put out.
Yeah, I mean,
if you had one on board the ship, it was like sooner or later it was going to catch you out big style.
I mean, there were guys down in there just shoveling coal 24 hours a day. That's how they kept that Titanic going. There's pictures of it online, and they're just like loads and loads of coal fires, like big coal fires all in a row. And that's just these guys, and all they do all day is shovel coal into this furnace to keep this ship going. And man, what a horrible job.
It's when you think about it, it's HMS Belfast, what's in London, moored in London on the Thames. You can go and board it. That was a very special ship. It's the reason why the Royal Navy put it after it was finished service as a museum. It was the first ship to use superheated steam.
All right.
That's why she was so fast. It used superheated steam. It was an oil-fired boiler, which basically boiled water, turned it into steam, but it then reboiled it so that it was superheated steam and extremely high pressure steam through very small turbines. And that is what they use these days, except they don't use oil burning engines. They use nuclear reactor. But the actual, I mean, even where they get all the power from now, even on the big American carriers, it was British Navy who come up with it on the Belfast. Superheated steam.
So that was the first.
It's the same as the famous steam catapult, and everybody's seen it. They've watched Top Gun, all the steam catapult.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Wasn't thought up by America. It was thought up by the British. British were the first to come up with that. The same as the British were the first ones to have metal flight decks, steel flight decks. Oh, it's everybody has copied off what the British have done, especially in naval terms.
Wow. See, we're not just a modelling show, we are a font of knowledge. There is
We're not really useless, but it's a font of knowledge.
Neil's a font of knowledge, I should say. I can't include myself in that. I just comment and make.
Usually make noises.
Yeah, just make noises. Yes, that's true. Isn't it? I ain't got a clue.
Got a clue.
Just put the appropriate noise in at the right time, and then it makes me sound really intelligent.
Oh, you need more than a noise.
Yeah, I need more than a noise, don't I?
It's fun. That's what we do. This is what we do. If people have got a webcam and a microphone, please, even if you go and buy a cheap one for like 15, 20 quid, just get it done, join us, and come on the hangouts for a night time. Because
sorry,
it's like this. Only there's a bit of swearing involved, but it's just like this, and it's taking the mickey out of each other.
And it's
as long as you leave me alone, you're all right.
Speak to the people that have been in.
Yeah.
If you're not sure, go and speak to the people that have been in. Don't take our word for it. When we, it's friendly, very, very friendly, and it's just a good laugh. And yeah, you enjoy it. And as I said earlier in the show, I have one webcam that I'm willing to send out to somebody that if they want to join the hangout, just let me know and I'll send them a webcam. And
the other, just point out as well, please, Mark, we are not like certain other groups. You don't, if you want to join us on hangouts, you don't need to be with us every night.
No.
We're not somebody who's got 20 people waiting to come on an hangout. If you want to come on for 10 minutes and just have a quick natter, if you want to come on for half hour, if you want to stay on with us for 3 or 4 hours, it's up to you. We don't mind. But you don't have to be in every night. If you want to be in once a week, if you want to be in twice a week, that's perfectly fine with us. Yeah, if you want an hangout and it's an oddball time that nobody's on, just message us. Somebody will say, yeah, okay, and start one for you.
Yeah, because the way because of all our oddities, Neil's awake most of the night, so any hangout he can do.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Reese. It's like Beaker, who's on with us usually, who's moving house at the moment. Today, he's moving into his little flat. So I would reckon next week he will be up and running and back on with us. But Reese is a paramedic. He's not front line, he's second line, but he's a paramedic. And he finishes shifts at all times. And if he's had a bad day, he'll bell me at like 12 o'clock at night while he's driving home and say, yeah, his hangout's still going. So, well, no, we've just finished it. And, so tell us when you get home. And me and him will be on till 3:30 in the morning, just for him to unwind and have a laugh and do some modelling. Reese is another one. He's got his own channel on YouTube, not on YouTube, on Facebook, RJC Models Official.
RJC Models.
Official. Put official on the end because there's another one called RJC Models. And if people start going to RJC Models, they might get in trouble with their other halves because apparently it's a modelling thing for,
Oh, right.
You know what I mean?
What's that RJC model?
Yeah, you shut.
Yes. I can see Angie hitting him with the frying pan sooner or later.
We don't need a frying pan.
Can't lift the frying pan. It's encrusted in too much fucking charcoal from burning everything.
Why you wanted me to come back?
Don't start, because that reminds me of a joke I've always found funny. It's like I heard this joke. It was told by Chubby Brown, but it's an old joke. And the bloke little lad runs into the living room. He says to his dad, Dad, I've just seen an amazing film on the telly. He says, awesome, what was that? He says, this bloke, he killed Dracula with a stake. I got news for you, son. Your mum could have done it with egg and chips.
I'm just gonna. We've got something coming over extremely low. Bloody walls were shaking.
That's a sight you don't see every day.
What was it?
2 army helicopters.
Chinooks.
Really?
Chinooks.
Did they have the twin rotors?
No, just one.
Just one rotor?
Yeah.
Very noisy. Oh, that was Merlins. That was Merlins.
Yeah.
But really, really.
Merlins are horrendously noisy. I haven't flown over, mate. Because you know when the final passing, the final place where the RAF teaches them to fly helicopters is literally in a straight line, is approximately 25 miles from my house, past Cosford. Keep going straight and you get to turn up. And they use it as a run, especially over night time. I've seen Chinooks, 2 of them side by side, with usually a Lumbo Apache coming over here, and you can actually see the guy on the back of the Chinook strapped on with his feet dangling over at the machine gun. They're amazing to see. But yeah, Merlins are extremely noisy.
Yeah, there's another kit, Airfix Merlin, that apparently is very bad. I've got that as well. I'm going to build that one and all.
Yeah, but it depends what you call by bad, doesn't it? I mean, I've heard people that say it builds all right. So it's.
I don't know, because
answer me this. Is it the fact that people who say that these kits are bad are ones who are sort of less than 10 years back in the hobby and they've been brought up on modern Tamiya kits?
No, because the thing is, the one argument against what I've put forward tonight is some of the people that have come forward and said these kits are bad are perfectly capable of building these kits. They're more than qualified to put these kits together. Yet they still say
but
they're rubbish.
Is it a fact that they are more than capable of putting them together and putting the work in, but they can't be bothered to put the work in because they'd rather build a kit with force together and they can just say, that's it, it's done. 40 hours is done.
I don't know. And I'm sure that there's going to be loads of people out there watching this that are going to think, oh, he's talking about me. And you're going to be wrong. Because
no, it's not. This is general. This is totally general.
I'm not talking about any specific person. It's just a collective thing that I've picked up over the years, talking to various different people, and it's generally the same whoever you talk to. So please, if anyone's watching this, don't take any of this personally.
A lot of people have an idea that whatever's said, it's about them, and it's not. It's not. We are talking about people that we see on comments like this on Facebook in different groups all the time. It's not just the groups in Britain. I'm a member of about 25 groups, and you keep hearing the same comment. And then I go to the one group that I belong to, which is Model Factory Hero Kits. And there's guys in there who are putting 800, 900, 1,000 hours work into a kit. And people, they take it to shows and people say, that's amazing, it's beautiful. Yeah, they are. But when you turn around and say, I've put 800 hours into that kit, people, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. Just couldn't do it. But they're perfectly capable of doing it. They're just not willing to invest that time.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the fact that they get bored with the kit. I don't know.
I don't know. There is a thing about big kits. They do take a lot of work to put right and to make look good. And I'm not near that level yet. I mean, I'm pleased with what I've done with this big kit, but I'm under no illusion that if that went in competition, it would not win. There's far too many things wrong with it, and it's just not up to standard. And I'm aware of that. But at the moment, for me, I'm pleased with it. And Angela will tell you, there's not very many times when I've got a kit in front of me that I'm happy with. There's very many times when I'm not happy with it, and you know, it gets put on the wall or put on the shelf, and I think, she said, you know, people say, "Oh, I like that," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's all right, I suppose."
I don't know why you model sometimes.
Yeah. This one I'm pleased with. There's out of all the kits I've built, that one I'm happy with. I built a BMW M3, which I'm really pleased with, and a Dodge Viper, which I'm really pleased with, and a Typhoon, which I was really pleased with until somebody dropped it.
Won't mention any names.
No, we won't say who.
I can just tell the way you turned and looked your head.
Yeah, nobody else saw that because the camera's on you at the moment.
I tell you what, you ain't had one of your models picked up and thrown at you. I've had that.
Oh, no, we ain't had that. Not yet.
Mind you, made a change from a throwing mugs at me. It's usually a mug.
Yeah, you lost your zero mug, didn't you? Do that.
I did. I've finally got a new one. I've got a 0 pints mug and an era boy mug. But yeah, she threw me 0 pints mug at me, my favourite mug.
And anyone that knows Neil will know that that is an absolute headache for everyone involved because he loved that mug.
Yeah, I moaned like there was no tomorrow.
Yeah.
I was not an happy bunny.
Yeah.
The tea just didn't taste the same without that mug. Tea has not tasted the same for a few weeks.
But he's got it back. Thank the Lord
Yeah,
for that.
Our Steve sorted me out. He's a darling.
So anyway, I think that's pretty much it for this week. There's not a lot else to add. Not been much modelling tonight, but managed to say a lot of things I wanted to say.
Neil said they were hawks.
Oh, Neil said they were hawks.
Well, hawks are helicopters. Them like hawks are aircraft.
Yeah.
They've got wings.
Look, they were flying in the sky.
Did it have rotors or did it have wings? Oh, tell me you know the difference between rotors and wings.
It was, but they weren't the normal average helicopter. They were fucking huge.
I would think.
They sound like Chinooks. They sound like Chinooks.
No, they weren't Chinooks.
She knows what a Chinook looks like. I've told her. I've shown her.
It sounds like a Merlin then. I mean, if they was hawks, I would have been there and gone quicker than that because, I mean, hawks
they were flying in tandem and they made me windows rattle.
Do you mean he said
that?
Yeah,
that's Chinooks. That's Chinooks. Or they're Chinooks or they're Merlins.
Definitely wasn't a Chinook. I know what a Chinook looked like.
I don't think Neil would have called them hawks.
I would say it's Merlin. I would say it's a Merlin.
Neil would have called them Black Hawks because he's been in the army, so he knows the Hawks are jet.
Let me look at what I'm Googling it now.
So anyway, yes, I've got nothing else to add. Have you got anything you want to add, Neil, before we go?
No, I'm fine. Thank you to all the members who have joined, including David, who has joined 7 minutes ago. Good on you. Good on you.
Yeah, David.
Yeah, we are slowly growing, as we said at the very start of this group. We didn't want a group that grew exponentially over 2 days because we weren't aiming for that type of group where in 2 days of it being open you've got 200 or 300 members. I'm absolutely amazed. We have 36 members now.
Yeah, that's
and I am really pleased. And thank you very much for everybody. Thank you for your support on a Wednesday night on the show, especially with all the shall we say problems that we have had over the last 2 weeks. The shenanigans, because we've had a lot of support, and I must admit, I will only say this once. I was very surprised at the amount of support I myself had at the beginning of it. And I'm really dumbfounded that I've got people who think that much of me that they would support me. Thank you very much, all of you.
And I would like to say on a personal note, thank you very much for the support I've had. It's been much appreciated. And has made me want to hang around for a bit longer until these two do me head in.
Yeah.
There's no thing about hanging around a bit longer. We've got you. That's it. Tough. You can't get out now.
I've got nothing to thank anybody about.
Thanks.
What do you mean? You got nothing to thank anybody about? Oh, you know, he's cheerful. We're trying to get him to have a sense of humour, but we can't find one cheap enough. So he has to laugh because he gets this every night. We give him some stick.
Yeah. Anyway, so thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, thank you all. I will see you all next week, and I promise I will be on time.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.